like Mary's.
Good evening, everyone. I'd like to call the East China Township Board meeting as a public hearing and special meeting for November 10th. To order, please. Clerk, please call the roll.
Supervisor Westrick?
Here.
Clerk Smith here. Treasurer Horn?
Here.
Trustee Babel? Here. Trustee Leibach? Here. Trustee Klein? Trustee Richard? Pledge of allegiance, please.
United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Agenda you have before you. Entertain a motion to approve the 4 items we have as presented.
So moved.
Support?
Support.
Thank you, Ms. Horn. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Minutes, these are from the last meeting that we had to fix, right? Is that what these are?
I don't think I have minutes.
I don't either. No, we're not doing minutes
Resolution.
tonight.
Oh, but we do have those for the next meeting, remember?
Correct.
Yeah,
Gotta do it.
The next.
All right. I just it says minutes here, so. All right. The public hearing is for the budget for 2026. I did entertain a motion to open the public portion of that
So moved.
by Mr. Rich. Is there support?
Support.
Ms. Horn, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. All right, anyone that wants to address the board regarding the budget, this is strictly for the budget tonight. Please go to the podium, just name and where you live, just so we have a record if we need to get in contact with you. But any comments that you have or anything, please go to the podium and state your business.
Are your microphones on?
They only work for the TV.
They
They're
work,
not like,
right, they
yeah.
only go through the TV channel. Yeah,
Channel 6.
yeah.
You don't want to stay here.
You can't hear me.
speak up.
I got something in my ears that takes care of that, so if you need me to speak up, I will, because sometimes I speak lighter because of that. I got yelled at this weekend for that. There is 2 options right now that the board is considering. Option 1 is the proposed millage rate would be 4.2367, which was exactly what we had presented at the last meeting, plus some items for local road funding for paving projects that changed right after we had done that. So we wanted to go ahead and make sure we included those. We contribute every year, and I actually just finished. We got the resolution from the last meeting that's going over to the road commission for the Cape Seal for, I believe, what is that over there? I can't even think.
Just about Urban Drive.
Urban Drive is a big one, you're right. But the Vistabel and Rochelle Court and Parkington or something like that.
Park Ridge Drive.
Park Ridge Drive, yeah, okay, anyway. We're gonna do a Cape Seal project, which is where they come on, seal it, fix some areas. So that includes that, that's option 1. And then option 2, would be a rate of 4.3810, should the board wish to add additional funding from our general fund to help offset the increase for this year only. And I believe that was $50,000 for water funds, $50,000 for sewer fund. So the rate to include that would be 4.3810. So those are the 2 rates that are under consideration tonight by the board. And that being said, anyone that wants to talk about the budget, please go to the podium.
Well, I think the biggest discussion, at least in my mind, for the board is the fact if we want to take general fund money and subsidize the water sewer rates
That
to
we'll
soften
talk
the
about
increase.
when it comes to our action time. This is public portion, just so you know. Yep. We will discuss what we're gonna do when it comes down to the action time. But this is for public to state what you feel, and everything else.
What's the current millage at right now?
Pardon me?
What's the current millage at right now?
4.42. And that was what was to be levied last year. What happened, paperwork didn't get turned in. We levied 4.20. It was approved last year at 4.42. And you'll find that coming up in the budget amendments. We'll be using a little bit of a fund balance for this year because there was an error made by the previous, during the, I don't know the form number that Jamie uses, but we corrected the paperwork at the county to reflect what we actually levied. We levied 4.2, supposed to have been 4.42. So that was an internal error. Gave everybody a break for 1 year, but anyway. So we will have to use some fund balance for the capital projects. I think was left out of the budget when she did the work, I believe. So that's kind of what we concluded anyway. So again, it won't be a very much because we had a surplus in other areas of the budget this year. So I don't know. We don't have preliminary numbers on it, do we, Corinne?
Do we have preliminary numbers on what?
On how we will end at the end of the year yet, or not really?
And the two proposals that we have?
No, we're talking about this year's budget with the 4.2. No,
Not on the spot,
not
no,
really,
I'd have to
right.
look at
Yeah, I
reports.
know, but we may have to use a little bit of fund balance, but we were supposed to levy 4.42, we did not. We did correct it with the county, it's paperwork that we actually levied 4.2 because they had it as 4.42. You know how we do the first one, and then we have to go back after our budget hearing like we will this year. So, answer your question, 4.20. That's a really long answer, wasn't it? Sorry. Sorry, Dave. I just kind of wanted to explain that because we just became aware of it last week too.
Yep.
So,
Is there a way to tell us what like the actual water and sewer per rate or per unit would be?
I'm sorry, I can't hear you.
What the actual water and sewer rate would be as to what it is now?
Yeah, that'll be coming up on the next item when we go to discuss that amongst the board. So this is for budget. I know most of you here to talk about water and sewer rates, but we've already had that work session for that. This basically now is going to be decision time for the board of what they need to do, unfortunately.
So is it done deal already?
I'm sorry, what?
No,
It's a done deal?
it's the next
No,
action
that's,
item.
we have to discuss it and decide what we need to do, you know?
Okay.
How much money do we have in the general fund that can go towards the water and sewer budget?
Very little. I mean, we have a fund balance, but we budget every year for things. We take about 235 or 255, I can't remember exactly the number right now, from the general fund to subsidize water and sewer rates. So this second proposal for the budget would be to increase that by 100,000 for 1 year to help offset, soften that blow a little bit. It's not gonna solve it, but, you know,
And if you soften the blow, but then you also pay higher taxes, so it's coming out of the same pocket. It's just the bill is gonna look.
essentially, yes.
Same amount.
Yeah, and when we talk about that, you'll understand. I'm gonna tell you where I'm coming from and how I feel, but anyway, yeah. It's still costing a resident money, so bills have to get paid somehow. That's unfortunate, but
Is there only one? Is there only one public comment for the whole session tonight?
There's a second public comment after
yeah,
this.
there's public comment. It's still before we take any action on water and sewer rates though, but this is about the budget. And then I would encourage, if there's no other comments about the budget itself, we can move on. And then when we get to public comment period, then we can talk a little bit more about the water and sewer rates if you want, you know, ask your questions, whatever, but.
Real quick, is this a moment when the park commission should be talking about their stuff, or
No,
do we
this
get
is
to the
strictly a
budget?
public hearing for the budget, and,
Right.
I mean, if they have any questions or comments on that, but I don't believe
Okay.
that they do.
Okay.
So,
All right.
I mean, this would be appropriate for the park commission if they want to talk about the budget for them next year, though. This is the hearing
Oh,
for,
this is the
this is the
time?
hearing for the budget.
Where is, I don't know where our, where my chairperson is, but I brought some papers.
Can you come up? I'm sorry, I'm just,
Sure.
that way the TV people can hear you.
Hi, my name is Evie Tolles, and I'm with the Park Commission. And for the 2026 budget, as you know, we are in a 5-year program to replace the playground, playscape. They can hear me on TV. for the, especially the newer trustees, you're gonna choke at the price of playground equipment. And of course, our last one is all made of wood. We no longer wanna go with wood since, you know, it's a lot of maintenance. So we are going to go with steel. I got pricing for different playscapes. We haven't chosen, of course, which ones, because they're all different price ranges, but we're doing it according to what the budget allows us. We do have money from the 2025 year that we haven't totally spent, so we're gonna turn, you know, roll that over because you're gonna see it's a lot of money. And it's, you know, for a nice playground to replace what we have, we're looking at close to 500,000. So, yeah. But I did just a little pamphlet, a booklet, just for you to look at, so you could say, wow, wow. But that's it. So that's our consideration. We're in the middle of our 5-year program, and we wanna, that's what we're working hard on, is to get the new playground. Okay?
Thank you.
Thank
I'm looking for, I'm sorry, I'm looking for the figure. What do we have in there for this year? For the park, please. It was 200,000, I think.
For the playscape?
Yeah, the different capital expenditures for this year. What's the number on here, Corinne?
Well, right now we have playscape, or the kiddyscape is 70,000. Manor Park 5, pickleball 70. Dog
70 for the pickleball?
Yes,
Okay,
and 25 for the dog park is the capital projects.
right.
Where did we reconfigure the money for the locomotive? Wasn't that supposed to go toward,
Towards the playscape?
yeah?
Yeah.
Well, the money for the locomotive never was budgeted. We said we were gonna
That's part of the
commit
fund.
to it, but we never made a budget amendment to move that money. That was part of why we increased some fund, you know, 70 for the pickleball, 70 for the kiddyscape. But we never did make a budget amendment for that at all. That was gonna come out of fund balance, but we didn't.
But it was in our initial budget that we looked at.
No, never was in the budget.
Well, we talked about
Yeah,
moving it
well,
from there
We
to that
we
project,
talked, we talked
right?
about,
The initial budget that we looked at the workshop, it was in that paper.
It was removed.
It was a suggestion, yeah.
In the recommended, or the requested 2026 budget, the DTE locomotive 50,000 was removed. It was put down to 0.
Okay.
So more than likely, your project will be phased in so much per year likely as we
Right,
can
like we
budget
can,
for.
yes.
Yeah.
I just want to kind of give you some concrete pricing, and just, I was told that every year it will go up between 5 to 7% for inflation, so,
500, did you say?
yeah. 3 to 500,000,
500,
it
yeah.
depends on how much playground equipment, but of course, we would want enough to fill everything we're removing, so. And an upgrade, because our mulch, we go somewhere between 16 and 20,000 a year, putting mulch every single year on that playground. There is a great thing called poured in place. It's rubber. If you've gone to any of the playgrounds, they're the best. Do it once, one and done. So we're gonna upgrade that route rather than the mulch. Okay?
I have a question.
Very good.
You
Yes,
said you're gonna go with steel rather than wood.
yes.
When it's 90 degrees, that's gonna be very hot.
I know, these playgrounds are all commercial graded and they have coverings, rubberized coverings and stuff, but I mean more of a structure that doesn't need to be maintained and doesn't rot.
Did you check on Trex?
I have checked on Trex. We are going to wait to see what kind of money we're dealing with, to see what kind, but yes. Again, you do have, that has a lifespan of 20 years, so, yeah. We can't really spend it before we have it, so we're just in the, this is what it costs stage.
At this point, this is not for tonight. Just introduce.
Thanks, Ab.
Okay,
Appreciate
thank
it.
you.
Thank you. Yeah.
Any comments about the budget proposed for next year? Again, 2 rates. Just need to have that on the record. It's 4.2367 would be the first one if we don't do anything to offset for the small offset to the water funds, sewer funds. 4.3810. So,
Okay.
anyway, see another public comments for the budget. I'd entertain a motion to close the public hearing.
So moved.
Is there support? Support. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Presentations, guest speakers, none. Public comment. Any comments about the water and sewer rates? Feel free, come to the podium. Tell us how much you like it, you know.
Well, no, you want to introduce all the information first, so they know.
I'm Lori Eschenberg, 4495 Clark Drive, East China. And I wanted to say I stopped by the township today just to get some questions answered, and your staff was very helpful and very professional. So I was impressed with that.
Thank you.
So I did a little bit of research online. From 2010 to 2023, 13 years, the median household income in our township went down by 10%. That's $7,000. That really shocked me. So I think this proposed increase, massive increase, would be a huge hit. And over 43% of people that live in East China Township are over 60 years old. I was also shocked about that. And a lot of seniors are on fixed incomes. So now I looked at option 1 and 2, and I was confused. It's part of the budget. I thought the water, sewer 1 and 2. But anyway, I also did some research on that. And the average Michigan water or sewer rate at this point is between $6 and $8 per 1,000 gallons, and you're proposing 11. And the average water rate in the state of Michigan is $5 to $7 for 1,000 gallons, and you're proposing $13.50. So I think that's super high. And Brighton, for instance, their water rate per 1,000 gallons is $4.96, and their sewer is $5.20 per 1,000 gallons. So that's a massive increase. And then even more of an increase is your meter equivalent rate, which is, I think, the ready-to-serve charge. So 52%, I'm looking at option 1, 52% increase. It's going from $32.74, you're proposing $50 for water. And for sewer, the ready-to-serve, it's 76 or 73% increase from $37 currently and 43 cents to $65. So I think these are massive, massive increases. And I have a question. So the ready-to-serve rate, this is the residential, is $37.43 for sewer. The commercial is $21.67. Why is the commercial ready-to-serve more than the residential?
That's typical with any type of rate structure generally, and Michigan rural, was that, how do I say that?
Michigan Rural Water Association.
Yeah, and they kind of come up with some suggestions on that too, that the commercial customers pay more.
I'm shocked.
Yeah. And generally, they have bigger meters and bigger uses.
Okay, let's see. And so the capacity versus demand of the East China Township water plant itself. So your capacity is allowed at 1.9 million gallons per day, but you could actually go up to 3 million with permission from the MTQ in an emergency, and you wouldn't have to do that, and I understand that. So
More than permission is involved, but yes. Yeah,
So
it's
your average
expandable.
Your average capacity is, so let's just say 2 million gallons a day. But the demand, what we're actually processing, is 510,000 gallons a day, which is only 25%. I was shocked to hear that. Same with Port Huron. So you're really overbuilt, which is good because, I don't know if that's good, but we're not going to have any huge residential increases in the next 30 years, according to SEMCOG's data. So we're overbuilt, and the average, we're overbuilt because we're only using 25% capacity versus, or demand of our capacity. We're only using 25% of it. Our plant was built in 2001. Your average lifespan of a water plant is 25 to 50 years. Ours is already 20 years old, 25 years old. So we're having this huge increase, which concerns me, and it's already kind of an old plant. So that does concern me. So as a resident, what I'm asking is, I don't know if you're going to vote on the budget tonight with the sewer water increases in it. I am asking if you could vote on your budget, but pull pull the water and sewer rate increases out and not vote on it tonight and do more research, please go back to the drawing board, do more research, look at case studies, look at more grants, loans, creative thinking, and think about how you could draw more industrial uses because of the loss of Detroit Edison St. Clair plan. I realize that's part of it. I realize people are using less water, and we are stuck with this, but you can't like draw money from a stone. We do have plenty of capacity to draw large industrial uses with our water and our electricity. We have a lot of great things going for us. And please harness the power of the EDA, Economic Development Association of St. Clair County, which has good ties to the Michigan economic development. They can help a lot. So again, I'm just asking to please pull this and don't vote on it tonight and try to more creative solutions. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, and a few comments. You're correct. Both plants are actually in great shape, and the life expectancy of the water plant's much longer than another 25 years because we have succession plans. We've been putting money in for capital improvements. There's money in the capital reserves for equipment replacement and upgrades. Same thing with the sewer plant. We just did the grit things over there and everything else. So you are correct. Both plants are in great shape, and you're right about utilization too. We reached a peak of about 100 million gallons a year for 4 or 5 years ago, maybe even a little bit longer. But we're down 20 million. We're only producing about 80 million gallons of water. There's a variety of reasons. I think DT is one of them because they're closing the plant down and using less water. Water saver toilets, all this stuff, So you're right. We still have the same staff, which is minimal, to produce the water we have, but we can produce actually 3 times the water that we're producing for very little rate more, And, creative thinking, you're right. We've gone to a lot of places for that. We try to get grants for the infrastructure that we just did. Unfortunately, a lot of our piping is old, so that's why we just did Point Drive and all that. That was, and the sewer lining project is for the infiltration, so we don't treat excess storm water when it comes into the system. That's part of that project too. It was $9.5 million in the last couple of years that we spent on infrastructure. That's got to get paid for somehow. Unfortunately, we had to bond for it. We did try to go for SRF loans, which try to get forgiveness. We didn't qualify. They wouldn't give us anything for that. So we've been trying to get money. We did get a little bit of a grant, FEMA grant, congressional spending grant for one of the pump stations over on Bell River Road that we're rehabbing right now. We're still in the process of doing all their paperwork, which has been a year and a half. Here's your money, but you got to go through all this. But it's still worth it. It's $290,000 they're giving us, So that helps with, I think we got about $160,000. We got a budget to redo that pump station. We just did 3 other pump stations through this $9.5 million project too, because they all have to be redone. We're definitely keeping an eye on everything to make sure it's all running for you. When you flush the toilet, or you turn your sinks on, everything works correctly and it's working properly. Unfortunately, demand is not what we thought it would be. I mean, yes, we're adding houses, we're adding infrastructure, but we're not.
The consumption's way down.
When you go down with water and it's still, you have an X factor to divide that out by, the rate goes up accordingly, unfortunately. We've looked at a lot of options, and believe me, if you have other ideas, and that's for anyone out there, we'd love to hear it. We're down to minimal staff, which is basically most of the, costs that we have for variable. The fixed costs are equipment, we just have a regular scheduled maintenance on that stuff, and we have items that we've identified that within 5 years need to be replaced. So we're contributing money to the capital improvement funds on both, not a significant amount, but we don't want to get caught like, I wasn't here, I don't know if anyone here on the board was here when they had the problem with the filters over the water plant. They had to rob every fund we had to pay for those, to replace them.
Well,
So
in your asset is going to be a huge amount of industrial zone property in our township. And industry provides a huge tax base, more than residential. It's industry, commercial, residential. Residential is a drain on township services.
That's right.
The littlest amount of taxes. But if you can get more industry with our river and our deep water ports, there's only 28 deep water ports in Michigan, and in our county we have 4 of them.
Yeah.
So if we can harness that, a Pepsi-Cola plant, a beer plant,
Yeah.
you know, there's all kinds of uses.
Yeah, we're hopeful that DTE comes with us with the plan. We've heard some things, you know, nothing concrete, nothing we can talk about, but, you know, redevelopment for the St. Clair plant property. That will help immensely, especially with the tax rate, you know, once they bring something online with a huge investment, that, that sure helps all of us for our tax rates. And then when they start using the water and sewer, that'll bring it back down. But see, that's gone away right now. That's why we're kind of in this position too, that, you know, one of the big users has gone away. So we're working hand in hand with DTE. We I don't know how you say it. I bend over backwards to take their calls to talk to them about stuff, because I really want to encourage them to build something new that we can tax over there that uses our infrastructure, so we can spread that cost back out again. You're correct. You know, we're encouraging any growth anywhere we can. You know, as far as industrial property, we don't have a lot more of that left around here. That's mainly that and whatever. You know, I talked to the main guy there about, hey, how about another Blue Water Energy Center? You really should have another one here, you know? But, you know, billion-dollar investments don't come along every day. So we're fortunate that we did get what we got. But the other one fell off, but, you know, good news is there's something coming there. We know there will be. We just don't know when and what. But in the meantime, we still have to pay our bills. You know, we still have to bring you water and sewer. So that's part of it.
You can't pay it, what happens then? Because there's a lot of people who aren't going to be able to pay that extra money.
Yeah, there's resources out there for people like that from the county and the state.
Are showering twice a week because of their water
Mhm.
now.
Yeah, I feel it with you too. I get it. So,
Unfortunately, yeah, we're put in this situation where we have to pay for all the
rates
infrastructure
should have
that we
been
just put in.
going up more than they did in the past, and, you know, they just didn't want to deal with it and kind of pushed it down the road, and we're faced with it now, so we have to solve this problem somehow.
Or even ramping it instead of having this huge hit, like maybe 20%, 25%, 25%.
Yeah.
We've looked at many, many scenarios. We've had multiple workshops
Yeah.
and tried to come up with the best possible plan, which is one of the
Yeah, that's something we have to
options in
talk
our
about tonight about. I mean,
budget.
we know that it's not comfortable for any of us.
And those workshops were open to the public also,
Yeah.
so.
Yeah, we want to make sure that we can keep the plants going, and we have to pay the bills there somehow. You know, we've looked at staffing. We're going to realign some staff a little bit, but you know, when you have one person there at the plant working, you can't go much less than that, you know, unfortunately. So we've done cost-saving measures with, you know, energy-saving devices just to help with those types of costs too, you know. But any ideas that are out there, we're looking at them, and if anybody has them, we'd love to hear them. You know, we had an opportunity, we talked about it about a year and a half about St. Clair, and maybe even want some water for the south end, you know, or there's some sewer capacity there. I'm like, sure, we'll sell it to you. We have it, you know, but it's easier said than done. That never came to fruition, but, you know, by all means, we're willing to offer our services. So we did install some new meters going into China Township to more accurately account for water and sewer. And I believe there'll be a little bit of relief coming for us there, because now we actually know what goes there now. We kind of, the way we were doing it really wasn't that accurate, in my opinion, but we fixed that too. You know, we've been working on it, so. But I do feel your pain. I know exactly what you're talking about, so that's one of the reasons I put that one idea out there to fund it, but it's borrowing from Peter to pay Paul. I don't know what the right terminology is today, but it's kind of that, you know. My issue with that is, you know, as a taxpayer, you know, I'm going to help subsidize the water rate a little bit. So the big user, and let's just say it's the hospital, which I don't think it is, but let's say, you know, they're getting a cheaper rate on the water then because my taxes went up a little bit. So I don't really like taking money from property taxes, a general fund, to help offset water rates, because it just helps the bigger users get a better rate on water and sewer. So, and generally that is industrial and whatever, you know. So, but we don't have a lot of that either. So. There's arguments for everything both ways.
For those that do not know, when is the plant shutting down? What is the timetable?
What plant?
Pardon me?
DTE?
What plant?
Yes.
Oh, DTE over here, St. Clair, it is shut down.
When?
It is shut down. It's been shut down.
Now?
Oh, yeah, it hasn't been running for a couple years. Yeah, they've actually pulled demo permits, and they've been dismantling facilities over there. They tell me this summer next year, the big stacks are coming down. That's all we know.
It's gotta come across.
Is there anything that Dwayne could add to help explain why these have gone up so much? Is there anything he'd like to add?
Other than what I've stated, I don't think so. You got anything else to add, Mr. Loper? I mean, it's,
No, lost consumption is
yeah,
really the main driver.
yeah.
I have a question about that.
Yeah.
And I could be wrong, so my first question is, I was talking to a neighbor the other day, and he told me that right now we are giving water, or not giving, but supplying water to Marine City while their water plant is down. Is that accurate?
We're not right now, but the plan is to help them out while they need to be offline, whatever, but they pay for that, so.
But like, I mean, I will pay for it, but I'm saying
Yeah,
of that kind of.
yeah, the only time that they don't is like if someone has a huge break or something happens, like in St. Clair, someone hit their intake here a year or so ago, and sure, we'll help out with that.
Well,
you know?
sure, but I'm just wondering, like, as the.
No, we've actually had to sit with them and compute the rate and everything else and tell them, yeah, what we can do, you know. But again, other than to watch while they wanted to do it at night, so I think we had some overtime
Can I just
involved.
finish my question?
Yeah, what's that?
I just want to finish my question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Like the speaker was saying, maybe just delay the vote a little bit, because that's just added consumption and covering some of the costs in the meantime, as she pointed out, just like delay the vote and.
Yeah. Actually, we've delayed this about a month and a half now. We finally said we've got to get this passed. We've got to give our staff time to develop and change all our paperwork for the January 1st rollout, you know, what the rate is going to be. So we did have work sessions on it. So we're having basically a discussion tonight amongst the board here about, well, what is it that we want to do? Because we have no other ideas that we can come up with to counter that. So either we subsidize it with the general fund for a bit again, or whatever we do. But it's the fact that, you know, we've been operating at a deficit there for the last 3 years since I've been here. So
if this rate increase goes through, and then you're gonna have a lot of people using a lot less water, is that gonna bump it up even more for the following year?
it's going to have an effect on it. I just don't know how much less that'll be.
So you conserve water and it screws.
And believe me, if you have an idea that solves this, I'm all ears. I really am. I'm, you know.
We've looked at
The general consensus, we don't want to do this. Nobody does, and I know you don't want to have that done either. I just don't. I don't have any solutions, unfortunately. We've been working on this for 6 months on what the real scenario is here and what do we do. So we're all ears on any ideas.
I have a question.
Yeah.
I've heard a rumor that it's going to go up another 20% next year. Is that correct?
No. Well, the plan is to do it once. That's what the proposal is right now.
For how long?
You'll have a 3% increase a year after that, just as cost of inflation and all that stuff goes up. If we delay it this year and step it, then you will have increases for a few years. You know, that's the options we're looking at right now. Do we do it all at once? They call that rip the Band-Aid off. Or do we just try to work it through the general, I don't know what the answer is, but those are the options that we have to look at tonight. And that's what we have to discuss as a board, what we want to do. But right now, the millage rate that is proposed to this, and then the water rates that are proposed would be, this is a big hit, and then it'd be like the 3% in cost of inflation every year covers that. That's what's been laid out on our Michigan Rural Waterworks programs, and it covers the capital improvements and everything, so we're hoping that.
And it would have an annual review.
Right.
The expenses and the revenue.
Right.
You help us on our social security.
Yeah, it's a tough thing, and I know Marine City's facing the same thing right now, unfortunately.
Supply us.
We
pay $10 every.
Yeah, I don't know what it is offhand, to be honest with you. We have a meter replacement program. They schedule to be replaced every so many years.
$40. a year for that, after 20 years, that's $800. I don't know how much it costs, but if I lived there 30 years or 40 years, where's my extra money going to? Is it going to slush fund? Or, you know,
No, there's actually a fund set right aside for that
Meter
program.
So I just keep paying forever.
Yeah, that's to keep the meters being replaced on a regular basis. A meter is about $800 actually, depending on the size. Yeah, and they were used to be 300, not that long ago. So that meter rate program is covering that, to make sure that they get replaced on a regular basis.
This lady has a question back here.
Yep.
Just, I'm new to the township, okay, and about this plant closure and that, is that the main reason why we're getting this big increase? Because that's been utilized so much and now it's gone?
It's one of the reasons.
Well, what are the other reasons? Can you?
The other reason is we spent $9.5 million replacing pipes and pump stations and.
What would be the percentage that you think that plant is? Just a ballpark.
20% reduction.
20 only?
Yeah, 20%. They were 100 million gallons to 80 million a year. So it was roughly 20% loss in volume.
So was the $9 million budgeted? And there's money-
$9.5 million of infrastructure. You want the right answer? The correct answer? It was not budgeted. That was left for
The rates.
us to pick up here and figure out how to pay for it. Be honest with you.
So that's why you're doing the CIP or the capital improvement for the future, so this doesn't happen again.
Correct. Yeah. Yeah.
I think it's a good thing.
Yeah. I don't really want to get into that right now. I'm not thrilled with it.
You have a couple of questions?
Excuse me, I know this is water underneath the dam with these two plants closing and the hospital taking on less water because of the less of usage there. But why all of a sudden is it a major thing? Didn't you see this coming down the road? I mean, that plant's been shut down for 7 years. This one's going down. I mean, nobody planned ahead to see what was going to happen and then start to plan this out so that we would go up a little at a time to compensate and not get zapped out at one time. I mean, where's the planning? Where's your planning commission? I mean, this is nothing new.
Yeah, the
It's
plan.
on people for not knowing that they had to
Well, the problem too, we had executive level staff that, not our current, but former, that didn't do that. And that's part of the problem, that's part of.
That's the biggest issue.
Correct. And that's something
The
that.
plant, the DTE plant came off the rolls 2 years ago, and there was a succession plan for that. So the loss of water was known. I've been here 3 years, 4 years, somewhere close to that. And I immediately said the same exact thing. Why are we subsidizing this with the general fund? $9.5 million of the work was started when I got here, and I'm like, how are we paying for this?
Now we have to.
No one had an answer for that. It should have been a voted millage, to be honest with you, for debt retirement. Shouldn't even be considered through the general fund. Or the water rates. It should have just been a voted one. But I'm just telling you, we're living with what's here.
You have reserves.
So that has to be paid for.
We have reserves. How much money do you have standing in your reserves at this point in time? And what are those reserves used for? You've got balance sheets in front of you. You should be able to answer the question.
We have approximately $3 million in our capital improvement fund for various projects throughout the whole township. I believe we have about 1.5 to 1.7 million in general fund, what do you call that?
Fund balance.
Fund balance, thank you, Alan. Which is okay. It should be a little bit higher, but it's okay. So to answer your question, we have a sufficient enough money for capital improvement, in my opinion, right now. Again, the Water and Sewer Authority has their own capital improvements, and we take a certain amount of money from our general fund every year for that, but we also are taking money from the rates so they have some money in their accounts as well for capital improvements, but not very much, not to the numbers that we were talking about here. So we have some money, but we don't have money to sustain to pay for water.
Very good shape.
So financially, we're in good shape. So why I don't understand why you're trying to put $1 million back into the water sewer as part of your budget that you've got set up, because I listened to the video. So if you got $3 million and we're in good shape, why do we have to continue to be putting money into that reserve? I mean, I know.
It's for planning ahead for the future.
Those are restricted capital reserves for various projects.
He's talking about over a 9-year period, you're gonna put another $1 million in besides $600,000 the first year, correct? So that's what you said.
We have a capital improvement plan that covers all of the capital improvement funds that are in there, and it's restricted for water main replacement on X amount of streets, you know. So that's all in there, and we're saving every year towards that, so that fund keeps building, so we're ready to have that money available.
Increase is just padding the reserve.
That is not correct, no.
It's paying for the
You got
debt.
$3 million, and now you're taking in another $1 million, you'll have $4 million. in
No,
just
that-
reserve, Not using your general fund.
Now, there's projects every year that have to happen at the water and sewer plants for capital. Most of this is for operating expenses every year to cover the production of water and treatment of sewer. Yeah, very little of this water and sewer rate is for capital, very little. 20, 35,000 is,
Yeah, water, I think, is around 35 for the
Yeah,
first
there's
few
very
years,
little bit of
so that
this.
we can build a reserve for the water fund.
Is there a reserve now for the water fund?
It's minimal, what, 300,000?
Yeah, there's very little bit of money
was a
set
large-
in the water and sewer plants and the infrastructure for that. And we're not trying to build that up right now. We're trying to just cover operational expenses.
So why all of a sudden, why did some of this happen before?
It did.
I mean, I know it's water underneath the dam, but. you
It
should
did.
already
They did
have-
not want to raise the rates. Simple as that. It did. Should have raised the rates 25% 3 years ago when I got here. They did not want to do it.
And do it a little at a time, so it's easier to swallow instead of getting this big increase.
Here's the problem, because we have raised the rates quite a bit in the last 5 years or so.
Yes,
But
you
the thing, yeah, but the thing is, like last year, we were told, oh, it's gonna go up, what was it, 15% this year?
The rate? Yeah, well, just,
Which, obviously.
every time we do that, we put a rates for the following years, but it never goes through rate review again, but, right.
But that's, I mean, I'm gonna wait until it's our time to speak on this stuff, but I mean, that, I have a lot of objections, but I'll wait till then.
Again, if there's a way to produce water and treat sewer more effectively or more inexpensive, I'm all ears.
Good question.
And I know that doesn't mean much, because I don't know much more about treating water and sewer than any of you, but I just know what the numbers say. Yes?
I have a question. My understanding is it's not the operating funds that you're short, it's because of a loan that was taken out that needs to be repaid. Is this what I'm getting from the
Both,
discussion?
both. Operationally, a little bit, and then the $9.5 million of infrastructure that we just had to
Why
do.
wasn't there plans when the loan was taken out to be sure and guarantee that that loan was going to be covered by what you were taking in? Or some kind of a contingency plan for reduction in consumption? Why wasn't that planned ahead of time?
I don't know.
And where
I wasn't here.
are the studies from any government agency, or where have you applied for grants?
We've applied for numerous
The public
grants.
needs to know that.
Yeah.
I think the public needs to know what's the background to the basis of what your decisions are tonight. I don't think the public should have to take your word for what you did. I think we need to see documentation for what you've done and tell us how we find that.
Yeah. I don't know what documentation you're looking for, but the,
What research have you done to come to the conclusions that you're coming to?
oh, that was covered in the work sessions with,
Well, we would like to know what the results of your work sessions were. What's the evidence of your work?
those were public work sessions. That,
Where's the information? I'm just a person that lives in a condo that I don't come to all these meetings. I'd like to know, where do I find that?
you have that online, right? The the water,
I don't know if they put that.
that's.
I don't think that was put online,
No.
but just it was on TV, but there's not, we don't have the paper online, so, as far as I know.
I don't watch
Yep.
TV, so how do I get that information?
You can come here to get it.
It's not on your website, it's very difficult to find any information from your website.
Yeah.
You should have stuff
I
like
think that
that.
could use some
Yeah.
improvement too. I just think that you need to be cognizant of the people that are really going to be hurting. We are facing increases in everything. Our food, our health insurance is going up the first of the year. So I think you need to really be cognizant of what people, the suffering this is going to cause to your community. And we're a small community. This is a small community to be supporting this kind of a water plant
I agree,
for the population that we have.
yeah.
So can we sell water to other communities? What other things have been, researched? I don't know that.
We can, if they would need it. We work with China Township with these plants, but other than that, they all have their own water and sewer plants.
I don't know, I'm just throwing some things out there.
And I appreciate that, and if we have more people to do that, that would be great, because I would love to have some better answers for you.
Yeah, but we don't know what you've done. All of
Yeah.
these people, do any of you know what the research has been done for them to come to conclusions tonight?
Yeah. The $9.5 million was a shock to me when I came here, and I'm like, how are we paying for this, you know?
I would be trying to find out why that happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's what my question is too, and I kind of would like that answered as to how, that is just so much money. How is somebody allowed to take a loan for that and not have a plan for paying it back? I mean, how does that work? What is the process?
I don't know what their intentions were at the time, I cannot tell you
Okay, no, I
that.
know you can't answer to it, but you should be able to answer to process. Not what their personal intentions were, but what the process is for taking a loan like that.
Well, they did
Because right
they
now,
did a reliability study, and it showed that all of our infrastructure is aging, so they said, well, we need to do some work, and the pump stations for sure. The water meters were split with China 50%, they paid half of that. And then the rest of it was water main replacement and sewer lining and manhole
Okay, but that's
lining.
still not answering. You're telling me the what, that's not what I asked. I asked what their plan was for how to pay for that.
I have no idea, I
Well,
was
that
not
should
here,
be
I
in
cannot
writing.
give you that answer because I don't live inside their mind.
Yeah, like that should be in writing.
You should have known that when you came on board.
That's unacceptable.
They have a plan. Did you read it?
I looked for it and there was none.
There was no oversight over the people that made these.
That's frightening.
I don't know what you're asking me that question for again and again, because I don't have that answer. All I know is that I was faced with that after the fact. When I got here, this board had to decide how to pay for that.
Okay, I understand that. I totally understand what you're saying.
'Cause it
but
was
I
already in
also
process.
want you to understand how frightening that is to all of us sitting out here, that there didn't have to be a process, that people could agree to take a $9.5 million loan that we all were going to have to pay back without there being a real process.
Trust me, I know exactly how frightening that is.
Okay, yeah. Well, we have to really make sure that.
Because at that point, you're looking to me to solve it.
No, I'm just wondering why we
So I
can't
don't know.
answer that. It's hard to believe.
I don't know really what their plan was, because the general fund really couldn't support it. The state and Eagle and everyone else says your water and sewer rates pay for those types of expenses. But yet, previous to this year, they're reluctant, every year we go through the same damn study saying we need to raise rates, and I don't want to raise rates. I understand your frustration, but I'm hoping you're seeing where my mind's at too. So we are here as a board now, we have to try to repair this, we can keep going on and doing this and passing the buck.
Right, but Mr. Burns.
Kicking that can down in the street, but it doesn't solve the problem.
Right, but as a park commissioner, when we have questions, we
ask, and if there are people on the board that we don't know answers to, I go to the previous commissioners and I ask them, hey, what was the thinking behind this? Where are the minutes for this? Where is the documentation? They will either give me the documentation or try to recall what was discussed at that point. I'm curious if any of the board members reached out to previous board members and asked them where is the documentation for that?
I absolutely did. When I got here, they were here.
Who was here?
The previous board members that decided we needed to do this work, and I had no answers. They didn't know. General fund, we're gonna do the general fund, we're gonna do. I just don't understand, so.
Oh, you know there wasn't any fraud involved.
Question, to maybe not have this happen again. So, obviously, you guys are trying to be responsible, and you're between a rock and a hard place. I get that. But is there a way to implement some kind of oversight so this doesn't happen again?
Yeah. It starts with responsible boardmanship, and that's what the 7 of us standing here are to do.
Because this is just, I'm sure it's a nightmare for you, it's a nightmare for us too.
I don't want to be here in front of you people tonight giving you this news. I feel for you. I'm in the same boat. I'm looking for answers that we cannot find. We cannot find a solution to the problem other than raise the rate. It's no different than anything else. When you buy something, you got to make more money to afford that or whatever. So there's property taxes, there's water and sewer rates, there's other sources of funding that are very limited when it comes to water and sewer plants. We're taking advantage of everything we can. We're foregoing anything else that we cannot afford to pay for or not a big emergency right now. We have things that have to get done every year. They're mandated, most of them, but we're trying to figure out the best way to, we're not going to repair or replace that. We're going to repair that. We're going to have to overhaul it, whatever you want to call it. We're looking at all of those things. Staffing levels, everything. We're doing what we can do to operate as efficiently as we can. If I could start shipping water tomorrow at double the rate, I would love that. Other than dumping it into the storm sewer, I don't know where else I'm going to put it because nobody needs it. That's unfortunate. Those big holes, that 20 million is a big hole because it's not only 20 million less. You normally plan for growth every year. So really it should be, after now, it should be almost 40 million gallons more. Instead, it's the other way. That's the huge big one. The infrastructure thing, you can raise your tax rate to pay for that too, which we've been doing. We've paid another general fund, but, it's not the proper way of doing it. And we'll continue to do that on some of them.
When you're done.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but one of the statements you made is you said, if any of us have an idea. I don't have an idea because I'm not involved in township activity, government activity. In your workshops, did you have expert consultation? You had expert.
Yeah.
See, that's what we need to know. I might
Mike from Michigan Rural Water is very knowledgeable. Dwayne can shed some light on that. He came and started showing us some of the ideas that were out there. He also showed us the scenarios of where we're at and how, what we can forego right now. But you can speak to other opportunities as far as offsetting the cost of producing water. There's not a whole lot that I'm aware of.
Other than finding a wholesaler that's willing to buy from you as a customer.
We do sell a lot of bulk water too, but not huge amounts, but we sell water.
The question that I mean, this is public comment, but I mean, the free water that we give out at the plant.
We don't give free water out.
Yes, you do. I see trucks pull, I live right across from them. I see farmers pull up with their big 500 gallon, and a lot of them hook into the hose. A lot of them come at night and hook into the garden spigot, and they'll spend 5 hours there filling up their 500 gallon tank and leave, and that's not metered.
The garden hose, from my understanding, is the free one. It's for people with jugs. The rest of it, you pay for
No, they come in the big vehicles, and I'm sitting there watching and go, they're ripping us off, because they're not using the big meter hose. They got 4 or 5 hours to kill in the night. And they just let that thing run, and I'm like, well, they're stealing from us. I know that. Do you guys know that?
Well, I think it's.
I'm not aware of people bringing big tanks in.
I see them all the time.
I think that's something we should probably stop that practice.
Yeah, if they're bringing big tanks in, absolutely. I mean, I see people fill up their water gallon jugs and stuff like that.
You go by-
But that's what it's meant for.
You go by on the weekends, there's trucks there.
Well, they do sell water on the weekends because there's someone at the plant, but if they're using that garden hose. when
It
no
is
one's
the
there,
garden.
Yeah. Yeah, we have those.
Turn off the spigot.
Again, that's one spot where there might be some water going. I don't know if it's gonna solve our problem, but definitely helps.
I have another question. What are the contingency plans for when residents are going to start leaving this town? Prices are just going to keep on raising. Prices for food and all that, they're not going to go down. It's, since the 1900s, like, things have potentially been increasing. That's just the economy, that's just how it works. If people maybe start leaving the town, that's going to put more pressure. And then it's going to so what are the plans for that? Are we going to just turn into a ghost town with no one left? Because why aren't we doing anything to preserve the people we have here and help them?
What we're sitting here for.
Instead of, this is basically just pushing people out. We were already paying the highest in the entire county. And now we're going even exponentially more. Then sure, you're saying everyone's raising costs, sure. But we were already with the highest. Now we're going even off the charts high. What are the plans for when residents start leaving to deal with the situation? What are the plans for the committee for this?
I don't understand your question, to be honest with you.
My question is, yes, they're going to be, just like when the plant left, this is falling on us, the residents. When more residents leave, let's say 50% of the residents leave, that's going to decrease consumption even further. And it's going to increase costs even more.
Okay, I don't, you're telling me they're gonna leave their house vacant and empty and nobody's gonna move into it, is that what you're saying?
Exactly. Yeah, you mentioned some development or possible in the future. How is that even going to be possible when our rates are so high? This is maybe public knowledge, people aren't going to come here knowing these rates are so high. They're going to want to come over to Marysville, Port Huron, Marine City. They're not going to want to come to East China.
They won't be going to Marine City either.
Plan if people leave and nobody comes in.
Exactly.
Are you just gonna keep raising the prices on the people who either can't afford to leave or don't wanna leave? Like, how are you gonna attract people when you're raising rates so high?
Oh, believe me, I don't wanna raise rates any more than we have to. We don't wanna keep raising rates. We don't wanna do this now. I don't.
The more you raise them, the less we use water. And the less water we use, the more you raise them. So it's not good for everybody. Just, hey, let's just keep on raising rates, tax the people. But we're gonna say, no, we're not gonna use water.
What do you propose we do?
I'm just saying, you can't, we're right at the upper end of our average in the state.
I know.
So we're at the upper end. Other communities have problems with their equipment and need updating. Are they raising their rates by 50%, 60, whatever it is? How come we keep on, we're already at the high end. Now we're even going higher. Brighton is down here, but we're up here. Does Brighton not have trouble with their water system ever? Sure they do. And they need fixing. Are they nailing their people?
I think to answer some of those questions, they have more than 4,200 residents too.
The more you tax, the less we use. The less we use, you gotta make up for it. So you're gonna tax even more. After a while, the people are gonna get choked out.
Has anybody investigated townships this size?
Yes.
Have you guys checked the comparisons, done any comparisons? To other townships this size?
It doesn't, it has to do with our current expenses. This is what we have, it's black and white. We can't change the numbers.
Just because
We have
someone
to
else
pay
is
for it.
charging
We
X,
have to figure out
doesn't
how
help
to
us
pay
the bill.
for it now.
Well, so
That's
you're
our,
trying to plan something. Maybe they have good ideas that you could utilize. That's what I'm saying. That's what I meant by that. Not your, infrastructure
It's
type
kind of
thing.
like we're all just finding out about this huge amount.
Yes.
That you have known about for, it seems like a few years now, that why? Like,
We've had rate meetings, meetings every year, and I've been saying the same thing. We need to raise them 18%, 13%, whatever it is, to catch back up. And the board has been reluctant and the rate committee's been reluctant to do that. Some of the people have changed on that now, and we're facing the crisis now, so we don't know what to do. We have bills to cover, but how do we cover it, you know? So
Once the bills are paid, do the rates go back down?
bills never stop getting.
No, well, this 900.
Well,
9 million.
when the debt's paid back,
Yeah.
And once it's paid back, do we get,
that's a good portion of it.
you know, or does government keep on saying, no, we're just gonna put it in our.
It's 30 years.
And put a new sign out there,
Yeah.
which we really didn't need a sign. People go by here, I used to be in the sign business, and I know it's not a cheap penny. If that money could have gone into the slush fund, and you tax it somewhere else.
Yeah, the $9.5 million bond is for 30 years.
But when did it start? Because when I saw
Last-
the budget today.
last year.
Wasn't one of them due in like, would be satisfied in 6 years or 7 and 1 later?
30 years.
Oh.
There's 2 other ones on there from 2013. I think there's 4 years left on the one, and 3. Those are also being paid out of the general fund right now.
Okay, well, the city of Detroit years ago went into emergency receivership. Is there some kind of emergency loan? That's a very, I realize these are low interest loans for public.
Yeah, the rate
utilities,
was
but
very good.
is
It was
there-
when the rates were still low.
I wonder if there was like an emergency loan.
Not really. I mean, if we had some big repair that needed to be done right now, and we had to do something, we would have to bond for it still. I think the bond was
Like Cape Head had
2%.
arsenic in their water.
Yeah.
And so they got some special deal because it was undrinkable. So they got some really good.
We would get the same.
But their rates are really high and they're little Cape Head.
Yeah. We'd get the same if we had something that happened like that. This is normal infrastructure. A lot of our pipes are old. This is not the only ones, but
25 years old. Pipes are old.
you know, that was 100. So, you know, they went by the number of breaks and how many breaks they were having and the issues and the size and the pressure and the whole 9 yards, you know, and, you know, we still have to do that with other lines. There's still 4-inch mains around here, but, you know, it's like some sewers were sagging and it's like, well, we should change. No, we will just go ahead and clean those out every 5 years. You know, we can't afford to get anything all brand new.
This is all expensive stuff.
Yeah.
If you want it to live cheaper, you'll have to move to a township and have a well.
Mhm.
Really, I mean, that's kind of a solution.
Yeah. I mean, that's not that cheap anymore either, but no, we're still looking at everything and we will not stop looking at opportunities to offset the cost of all this. Anytime a program comes out, we're looking at it. So we're still writing for grants from the federal government. That's kind of an emergency one, is why we got that, because the pump station was in bad shape, so we needed to get that fixed. And luckily, like I said, we got $294,000 for a $450,000 bill. A lot of it's paid for. That's nice.
Maybe it would behoove the township on their website to have a link for help for seniors or low-income people to get.
Yeah, we're updating that. We're talking about that right now because there is some stuff on there, but it's not real. It's vague. We want to get people the help they need for the tax bill, for the water bills, stuff like that, and resources of where they can go for that. Absolutely, and they can always come here, and we'll try to direct them. But we're going to be updating that whole page. It's a hardship, and I completely understand. You know, I'm not in favor of paying a higher water bill either, but like I said, I don't know what the answers are. None of us do. We just know what we have to solve it somehow. So, yes.
How many experts have you had come in to help with your decision on this water?
We've had 2 or 3 consultants that work with water and sewer plants and rates. Good news is our plants are in great shape. You know, bad news is we're losing volume again, and we have. That's not what we're doing. It's just the plants don't run at peak capacity like a lot of people's do, and you're spot on with those comments, and that's the unfortunate thing. And it was good planning back 20 years ago when they did those, because there was a lot of potential for growth, but You know, China has none. They haven't had any
The
growth.
county's lost population in
Yeah.
20 years.
Yeah.
25, lost.
Yeah, so they didn't help the matter either because they're partners in the plants. So, yeah, the growth that they probably anticipated back then probably hasn't happened because, you know, back then everybody was moving up from down in the city and wanted to have a house here and subdivisions were going crazy and that all stopped about 15, 20 years ago. So nobody's got the crystal ball, but I think that's kind of part of the plans too. But
Is there any money in the general fund that can be moved over to help lessen the blow, maybe for a year or two?
Well, that's
for
what the
rest
one
of it?
proposal's for, Dave. Here, you know, we can use some fund balance too if we need to. It's not a good practice that state, and
Well, no,
our
but
accountant has
just
said not to really do that, but, you know, we're looking at any option we can. Kicking the can down the road
Well, no,
for
just
12 months.
softening the blow a little bit, like,
Right.
you know, for these residents that are gonna get
Yeah.
doubled,
Yeah.
over double for water bills.
Well, there's a lot of options other than these on the table that we'll be discussing tonight, so we have to come up with what we think will work, and I appreciate everyone coming here and expressing your interest, and I fully expected it, because I'm with you. I can stand up there and say the same thing. I don't want to raise, I'm looking at it as your watchdog for the township that, hey, we have a problem here. We got this big infrastructure bill. We have, you know, our expenditures are exceeding our revenues. You know, we have to do something. So all 7 of us know that we have to figure it out somehow.
How much of a raise is everybody gonna get so some of that money can stay
Yeah.
back here instead of, I don't get a very big raise every year, 2% maybe? I don't know.
Yeah,
I mean, it's just a question.
I believe that their schedule from the last 3-year contract was 1.5 or something like that. But yeah, it's not, and I think they kind of understand that, you know, township's not in a great position to be handing out money, and you know, it's not a good practice that I like to do anyway, so.
How active are we in pursuing fulfilling water needs to other areas? Like Flint gets theirs from Detroit, you know, Port Huron distributes. Is there anything being done on that, or is that just not just, just too hard to do?
Well, I don't really understand how you mean selling water. We don't have any, to transport water, you need pipe, you know, and you got to put infrastructure in to sell water to someone, and they all have their own plants, and they work on theirs. I mean, options for selling water, you have the people that haul water for pools and stuff like that. We already do have customers that come here for that.
So I know that we do supply sometimes to China when they're in need for it, so is that?
We supply every day to China. They're a partner in the plants. Yeah. They're part of the authority.
There's nothing actively pursuing water anywhere else then, being that we live on the river, we have this opportunity, and we have so many cities. And the biggest obstacle in that event is the transportation of it. through the pipeline.
Yeah, I don't know who the customer would be necessarily. I mean, most people that buy tanked water is for like a pool or something like that, you know. We have people coming for that.
Marine City, St. Clair, they're both hooked to us.
Yeah, they have their own
for an
plants, you know,
emergency.
and they work on their infrastructure, but there's really, you don't really sell water and sewer services other than to your residents.
So is the water that we help China Township with, are they gonna be paying the 58% increase like we are?
They're a part of the Water and Sewer Authority, and they pay their percentage of that budget every year, just like we do. And how they do it, I'm not sure. They usually follow what we do in rates, but, you know, how they pay for it is up to them. You know, they're not as big of a partner as we are. I mean, they're 12% of the capacity, we're the other 88.
Can you stretch it out a little bit, or does it have to be on the books on our next water bill?
Whatever we do is supposed to be for January 1st coming up, but that's what we're here to discuss tonight amongst the board is how could we soften this blow? That's the biggest phrase that we've been using, you know.
I do think you know how we feel. I think I'd like to listen to the board, what they've got, and what you all have to say. I think it's time.
We feel just like you do.
Okay, but I'd
We
like
don't
hear
want to be in
everybody
this
talk
position
about it.
at all.
I think this gentleman
So-
has a few things to say, as he said previously, and else. So I think you could be ready for that, please.
Yeah. And I'm glad that you're discussing options, because that's really what we need. I mean, just say, no, we don't want to raise the rates completely. I get that, everybody can say that. But we have to also make provisions to pay the bill. So how do we do that, you know? One is to raise the rates completely, you know? So that's how we do that. Anybody else? Yeah.
Is it feasible to shut the plant down and buy water from St. Clair or something?
They don't have the capacity. Neither of them do, no. And that would probably be a lot more money. Yeah.
Plus, we still have to pay our.
Yeah. We still got to pay the bill for the infrastructure work that we've done and the rest of it. So, I mean, there's more to it than just making the water. You know, it's the whole system that we're maintaining as well. So. But it would be nice, wouldn't it?
Yeah, planning from the past.
Yeah, but all those pipes that the water would have to travel through would still have to be maintained, and that's where the majority of the cost comes from. Anyone else? If not, entertain a motion to close the public hearing.
We already did.
Or, yeah, well, we're sorry, this is public comment.
Correct.
So you got me all confused again. All right, no other public comment.
Resolution now.
There is no consent agenda. New disbursements, that's not here. Unfinished, new business. Okay. New business 1 is the resolution for the budget. I open it up to the floor. Okay, so,
Are we talking, or are we gonna make a motion first?
well, whatever you feel like. Proper ways to make a motion for the budget and then discuss
Why
it.
don't we discuss it?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll
Go
go
ahead.
first.
Okay.
So just to correct a couple of things that were said, because so the capital, there is no capital improvement plan. Well, no comprehensive one that I'm aware of. We've had lots of staff that allegedly were working on that for years, and, well, here we are.
Who said that, wasn't it?
So I just want your definition of a comprehensive capital improvement plan.
Just things that need to be updated, and whether it's piping or, I know there's
So
some.
they all exist. We have reliability studies, we do have a CIP, we have a master plan, all submitted as required by Eagle. So I don't know where you're getting your information.
Well, we have what's required by the state, but we don't have like the comprehensive one that, just as an example, if you go to Kimball Township.
We have what's required.
Yep.
And it meets everything that we're required to do for water. We're actually going above and beyond what's required for sewer right now. So what you're saying again, you didn't bring to us earlier. If you want things, you have to bring them to us outside of the theatrics of a board meeting and dive into what you want and how you want them.
Yeah.
So, okay.
We do
So,
have a capital improvement.
No, we have what's required by the state, bare minimum. Even our former township manager said it's the bare minimum, that's what we have to have, but we're working on one, and I'm not attacking you, Dwayne. I'm saying that person said, well, we're working on it, we never got it, period. And that's 7 years worth of work, but I'm gonna get to that. On the general fund, we have a fund balance on the capital improvement fund. We have a fund balance. When I first was elected to the board, I was like, why do we have millions of dollars just sitting here? And I was told water and sewer rates, or lines. And that's why we had that, to begin with. So why do we have $3 million just sitting there in the capital improvement fund? Doesn't make sense to me when I'm told now that, oh, that's not what that was for. That doesn't make sense. But also minimum staff, that's not true. We have more staff when you look at Marine City, St. Clair, compare their plants to ours, we have more. And actually, when it comes to like our past, like 30 years, 20 years, whatever, back in the 90s, they had one plant supervisor for both plants. And then that changed. And then we had no township manager, we had no director of public services, and then we had 2. It makes no sense, but I'm gonna get to what I have to say. And this is both on the budget and the water and sewer rates, but.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, let's talk about the budget first, Alan.
Well, I'm gonna cover both in this, but this budget is a reflection of the policies of this board and for the past 8 years, we have employed executive-level staff that were completely unnecessary. Spending over $1 million in that time on positions that no other township in the county had, all while paying elected officials for jobs they were not doing. 2 years ago, when I started questioning these things, I was treated like a troublemaker, laughed at for simply asking questions, but today those questions have become the reality we're forced to face. We can't get back the $1 million wasted, and we can't ask board members to repay money they took for doing nothing, but we can safeguard against this kind of mismanagement in the future and finally demand accountability. We used to be the envy of the area, boasting the lowest taxes, water and sewer rates. Now we're faced with increases in both water and sewer rates that are already higher than surrounding communities, and taxes that are higher than any other township in the county. These are indisputable facts that we need to ask ourselves why. It's because of the executive level staff this board decided to hire, people brought in to do jobs of elected officials who were too lazy to do them themselves. I have requested too many times to count to see what each elected official actually does and what staff does to cover them. I have never received a clear answer. There's no transparency, no accountability, and that's just unacceptable. The only board member among the supervisor, clerk, and treasurer who has ever explained what they do and what their staff does is the treasurer. That's a problem. We need to go line by line in our budget, employee by employee, and ask, is this necessary? Who are we paying and why? The last 8-year experiment of hiring unnecessary executive staff has been a failure of epic proportions and should never be repeated. We are supposed to be safeguards of taxpayer money, trustees of this community's trust, and for several years now, we have failed miserably at that duty. The community is waking up. Many are angry about last month's rate increase, and tonight's proposal will make that look small in comparison. We no longer have active recreation program since the township took them over, something I hear about constantly from younger families and parents. Our leadership has stopped listening to the people it's supposed to serve, and in short, we all need to take a cut and lead by example. The supervisor, clerk, and treasurer should earn what a trustee earns until they can demonstrate and prove what they actually do for this community. We also need to eliminate the outdated pension program for elected officials, which no surrounding community even offers. It's insane, it's a waste, and it needs to go. It's time to rebuild trust. It's time to remember that we work for the taxpayers, not ourselves. We can't change the past, but we can change the direction we're heading. Let's restore transparency, restore accountability, and bring the township back to what it once was, a place where people were proud to live, proud to invest, and proud to serve. The choices we make tonight will say a lot about who we are as a board. Let's choose to be responsible stewards of public money. Let's choose integrity over convenience. Let's choose to do the right thing finally for the people that put us here. And that's all I got.
So where's the proposal?
Well, that's why we have $3 million sitting there in the capital improvement fund. That's why we have over $1 million sitting in the general fund.
What are you talking
Put
about?
off building onto that DPW thing that we were talking about, put off a lot of crap that we're
When you
looking
said $1
at.
million in executive level staff, I don't understand where that figure comes from. You said about 130,000
7, 8
apiece.
years of one staff member that was over 150 grand a year, and then the director of public services, that's well over $1 million in that time.
Yeah, I don't know why you guys did that to begin with back in the day.
I was not here for that. And I voted against hiring the director of public services. Nothing against Dwayne, he's actually a very good person, but the position.
Yes, he is, and he has solved a lot of those problems, and that's why we're sitting here today, is because these have been brought to light.
Well, he's been doing things that we should have been doing, but that's.
Well, we have been doing, unfortunately.
No, we haven't.
You're right, some of the stuff that was led to us was, anyway. So your plan is to eliminate treasurer, supervisor, and clerk salaries, is that right?
Not eliminate, but bring them down to what a trustee makes until people can demonstrate.
So roughly about 30-some thousand a year total will save, so that.
Not including the pension, not including the benefits and all that stuff. And then,
Pension's nothing.
And Alan, might I interject here?
Sure.
That the trustees are underpaid by in the 200 percentile, yes.
Not true, not true.
You were on that.
The Michigan
Build
Townships
board with
Association,
me.
the Michigan Townships Association just put out a new thing. If you look at it, we're about average. And
Irrelevant to that.
well,
If you want to eliminate that, okay, so does that solve our problem?
No, but I'm talking about the general fund balance, the capital improvement fund balance. That, and again, that's something I was told several different times, because I kept asking, why do we have millions of dollars just sitting there? It makes no sense. Unless we're saving for something, and then I was told, well, we don't have the
Each one
capital
of those
improvement.
items is a savings account for that particular item. There's money in there for the DPW fund that has been unspent. There's $794,000 in there. That was budgeted 2 years ago.
Right, which we're not building that now, which we could put off building on the Springborn Road location.
Yeah, we could, I mean,
Because
it'd be nice
we
for
need to
them to
tighten
operate a
our,
little bit efficiently, but.
we need to tighten our belts
Each one of
here. I
those items that come, there's some unrestricted money there.
The easiest thing to do is raise the rates. The hardest thing to do is say, well, where can we cut? Who's necessary, who's not? What do we,
Again,
we need to go through that.
I'm not aware of any staff cuts that we could make at the plants. Because the
Not in
minimum.
not in the short term, but there's certainly a lot of stuff.
The
that-
minimum is what we're running with right now.
If you look
That's
at
what I've
Marine
been told.
City, if you look at Marine City, I know one of the commissioners there and we're talking, they currently have privatized services. That's how they saved money years ago, but not working out too well. They're talking about bringing it back in-house and it's actually probably gonna be cheaper.
Was discussed.
But, and we are more expensive, but Marine City used to be the highest in the county, we're well above that, but, St. Clair, their water plant, they're talking about combining just like we used to, and I think we need to look at the same thing. I mean, if we're gonna continue, we just need to look at different ways of doing it, because it's, I don't know.
And we are.
I don't think we are, I mean, we're,
So,
and we have increased a lot in the last 5 years. I mean,
what I'm asking you is, what's your solution for the water and sewer rate increase? What do we do to offset that?
I just told you 4 different things. The easiest one and the most obvious one is using the funds that we have been saving to do that. And we don't have, at least, I don't know if you guys have read that
Well, you're
comprehensive
telling me
capital
instead of
improvement
keeping
plan, but I haven't.
the recommended fund balance that a township should have,
Well, right, I'm
should use
not,
that money to subsidize rates? Is that what you're
the
suggesting?
the capital improvement fund, yes, but the general fund, no. I mean, obviously, we need to keep money for a rainy day in case if something happens, but.
You're talking about the capital improvement fund, you want to take those items and do away with them and not save for them anymore and subsidize water and sewer rates? Is that what you're saying?
Between the capital improvement fund.
I'm just asking what your solution is, because I don't know.
The capital improvement fund has over $3 million in it, correct?
Yes.
The,
Just over.
we have a lot of staff. We're about to lose one staff member that I hope we don't replace, because then that would save a significant amount of money. I think, and again, and we're probably gonna have to increase them still, maybe 15% or so, but then we all need to take a cut, especially people that are being paid to do something that aren't doing it. So that's my proposal. We have a lot of staff that do the 3 of yours jobs, so.
Well, I don't believe that's true.
That is true.
Any comments from Mr. Klein?
Well, I just came into this position this year, just been elected, so I'm with you folks. Just sitting here, finding out we got a $9 million bill to pay was crazy. But if there's ways we can, I know we got a capital improvement plan, I've seen it from Dwayne. And to sit here and say that we don't have it and we aren't planning, I don't agree with. I've seen it, and I know we got, and you're sitting here saying to us, why didn't we plan for that? We have things that we are planning for. Dwayne's put together a very good plan. I've seen it, we don't have it in front of us, but there are things out there we have to pay for. We do need money in the accounts, the general fund, and this $9 million bill we just had to find out we had to pay for. We don't want that to happen again. So capital improvement plan has to have money in it. when infrastructure fails. So, and.
Before it fails.
And listen, I don't know what every person does in this township. I'm not familiar with water and sewer, and I'm not familiar with the waste plant personally. I don't work there and I never have. But we got a township supervisor and we got Dwayne, and we've all been sitting here for weeks or months that I've been here. I've been here a few months now. We know we gotta save money everywhere we can. And to sit here and tonight and to find out that we're gonna put a playground together for $500,000 we don't have, I mean, I'm shocked at that. So we agree. I mean, I'm a retiree and I'm on a fixed income. And you think I like paying rates like this, knowing that we're paying more than anybody else around? Although we got even if we did a million things, or like bought it from somewhere else, we still got that $9 million bill out there. And Detroit Edison still moved. We still got what we got to deal with. And I agree, we need to look at a board, and you know, my man Al's right on. We got to look at every position and every item that's out there to spend money on and see if we really need it. And we're all open to that as far as I'm concerned. I don't know that we're not. To sit there and say that we haven't done nothing, I don't agree with. I think,
Well, again-
I think if we start fighting as a board among ourselves, we need to sit here and argue, and it's not fair to do it in front of you folks who are already coming in here anxious and pissed that you're getting rate increases, just like I am. I don't like it any more than you do. But we got
Well,
to,
that's
as a
what this
board,
budget's in front of
moving
you for. You
forward,
tell me.
figure
what
out a
you
way to
wanna-
handle it.
What you want to spend in this budget, what you don't want to spend in this budget. That's what we're sitting here. If there's things that you don't think we should be spending money on in this budget, you need to tell me.
Yep, and that's where we should be. We're here to discuss the budget and what we can cut and what we can't, not just
correct.
make blanket accusations about.
This
The
budget,
board hasn't done shit for 20 years.
the
Maybe
budget's
not.
been prepared with the three of us here. This is what we feel we can operate with. If there's
Hey.
something that you don't want to spend money on in here, you tell me.
Again, for the probably 100th time, I've said that the supervisor, clerk, treasurer, there needs to be accountability with,
Remove the salary, Ellen, it doesn't solve the problem.
not saying remove it, I'm saying it's.
I don't care what you do. What's $30,000 or $40,000 gonna do? It's not gonna do shit. It's not gonna help
do
the water and
something.
sewer rates.
It's gonna do
So
some-
what are you harping about for that? I'll give you my salary. I don't need
That's-
18 grand a year to do this job.
I'm saying
not here
give
for
it
the
back-
money.
I'm saying give it back.
Trust
to the
me, I'm
general
not.
fund, but-
I'm here to try to solve problems. That's what I told you when I came here. So solve the problem.
The $1 million also that was brought up about township manager and operations manager. The township manager is gone.
Yep.
That salary went with that person. That was
Yep.
$100-some thousand a year. So that's gone already. It's
Correct.
not like the board is still paying that. And Dwayne turned in his resignation, and we've already talked, some of us, about whether or not there's even a need to replace him, or if we can take on those responsibilities of the people that are working here.
Well, if you
So
notice, new
don't-
business
wait a
four,
minute, wait a
that's
minute.
what we're
Let me
talking
just
about
finish.
again tonight.
I'm talking to the folks out here is the fact that, you know, we're talking about $1 million that could be saved. We're in the process of doing that.
I didn't
It's
say it
not
could
like-
be saved, I'm saying that's what we spent. And again,
Well, yeah,
2 years
but
ago when I
then
brought it
again,
up, that was
if you're not
laughed at.
spending
so-
it, you're saving it, right? So those are the things we're looking at. and-
You're saying
and-
$1 million cumulative over 8 years is what has been
Correct,
spent.
correct,
Okay,
correct.
great. But
And that's
Tell
gonna
me
be
how
another
that solves my
hundred, that's gonna
problem
be another,
tonight.
that's gonna be another over $100,000 savings
that's correct.
per year, so. And then
Also-
if we also don't spend on that DPW building this year, that's more savings. I mean, that's a lot.
Yeah, and that's all things we can look at.
When those positions
And I
were
think, I
created,
agree with
Okay,
that. I
but
didn't want to
here,
spend that
you
anyway.
take the $700,000 for the DPW, and say you want to divert that to water and sewer, and offset the increase. All right, there went that pile of money. What are you gonna do January 1st of '27? You don't have that to rob anymore. You're still faced with the same issue.
No, but we do, because that amount of money it's money that's not spent, and it's money.
You just spent it.
No, because the amount of revenues is not decreasing with that.
I don't understand what you're saying. You're saying take the $794,000 that we're not gonna.
Oh, excuse me, okay, that, yes.
On
but
capital
I'm talking-
improvement, and you're gonna spend it on water rates this year and subsidize water rates with it this year.
But what I'm talking about.
So now, when you do that, what are you gonna do next year?
Okay, listen, because the amount of money that you're skimming off the top to put toward the DPW building on Springborn Road, that's what I'm talking about.
We're not
And that-
skimming off the top. We budgeted that 2 years ago. It was
Well,
budgeted 2 years ago.
But part of the money that we're talking about this year, we're talking about adding onto this building, talking about.
That was
the-
budgeted 2 years ago.
Well, correct.
There's
But
no more been coming out of the general fund or the tax levy for any of those projects.
again, when you look at the amount of money that we were going to skim off the top for the DPW building, all that stuff, and then on top of that, the Director of Public Services position, that's money that's going to continue every year.
We don't skim, I don't know what the hell you're talking about. We budgeted one time, 794,000 and 100, or 280. Those were budgeted 2 years ago, one time. They're not still in the budget every year.
Well, it's just like the
It's
sign and
budgeted
all
one
that stuff.
time and it's over with. It's money sitting in the capital improvement fund now. That's not being added to. So you spend it once, you're done.
Well, wait a minute,
No,
wait a minute. You're right, you're right. We get, if we take those.
The only thing that's recurring is the salary
Just hold on a
for him.
second. Here, we're brainstorming here, right? So if we do not spend that money for the building, and we do not spend on whatever the other 280,000 that we're gonna add on here, or whatever, if we didn't, you could use that money, which we already have, and if we're not spending it there, if we don't really need that building, and if we don't need to add on here, we could use those funds to subsidize this water bill and sewer bill for the folks for at least a year.
Okay.
You know, we could take that, and next year.
Now we can do next year.
Wait a minute, I realize, and everybody here realizes, next year we face the same problem, right?
Right.
But we're looking for a break right now, not next year. We knew, we can do other things. There could be other things down the road that give us an
So
opportunity.
you want to propose what the previous boards have been doing and kick the can down the road again?
No, I don't wanna kick the can down the road. I'm looking to soften the blow for a year if we don't need the
And
fund.
that's
If we don't
great.
need to build a building, and we don't need to add on, if we can get by without doing that,
We need a permanent
yeah, I agree.
expenditure
I agree.
reduction
I
for
agree.
water and sewer plants to have the rates
agree.
lower and not have to raise them.
and it's not kicking the can down the road when that was the plan all along. They kept putting money aside in the capital improvement fund and in the general fund for that purpose. That's what it was for.
For what? For the building?
For building up the fund balance the way that they did. I mean, I
Those
believe they
two
increased.
figures came from the
That's what kept
increase
doing
from
it.
Blue Water Energy Center before that plant dropped off. We had a one year increase in tax revenues.
Correct.
In lieu of lowering the rate down 1 year and then raising it back up, we funded those funds, because that's what I was told by this board they wanted to do. They wanted to build a DPW building and then add on to this building. So we funded those two capital improvement projects 1 year with the excess revenue that came in from the SEV for both being on the rolls at the same year. The following year, the plant went to zero, the St. Clair plant. It's the only reason we had a 1 year influx of that kind of money.
But it's continued because, I mean, we've had.
Not continued,
Well, but we've had excess revenues of expenditures every year I've been here. And it just keeps going back into the fund balance. So,
The money that was for that between that, and then we didn't have to pay the bond payment yet, that's where those revenues come from to put into the capital improvement fund. Now we got bond payments to make, so we don't have that
but I
450
think,
grand left to put somewhere.
at some point looking into if somebody retires or something like that, having both supervisors, eliminating that's about 100 grand right there, then,
It's already been discussed.
right? And then the savings of, which we haven't discussed, but that wasn't taken out of the budget, was it? The Director of Public Services?
It hasn't yet.
So that's another 120, 130.
Yeah.
Then taking away the pension for us and the savings at 40 grand, 30 grand, 40 grand. Then using some of the fund balances that we and we have a lot of play with the budget this year where we have money in excess of, our revenues are well in excess of our expenditures.
That's untrue, no.
No, that is true.
We didn't levy 4.42, we levied 4.2.
That makes no sense.
I know it doesn't. What happened? We collected 4.2 mils on last year.
Well, it's
on
like,
25.
I just counted off about 200 grand worth of, or 250 grand worth of ways for us to.
Yeah, well, it's not like it's an issue. We have the money in fund balance or capital, as you say, but there won't be a huge amount of money of revenues in excess of expenditures for 2025.
I just don't understand how 4 years ago I was told by the person that was the township manager said that the reason why we had all that money sitting there, and that was the person that was supposed to be working on the capital improvement plan.
A lot of those items on there are for water sewer type projects,
Yeah.
water main replacement, stuff like that.
Correct?
You know, but the DPW building on there,
Well, right, there's other
stuff on
there's
there.
other things, but yeah. I have nothing else to say.
Jim, anything further?
No, I'm done.
Going forward, I think when we do a budget review, we do need to go line by line, especially for those of us who haven't been here to understand what it is. But I do agree we need to look at not replacing that position
We
based
went
on,
line by line when we did it, so.
but
By all
we
means,
didn't.
if you want to get that depth into it, please come to us when we're having our budget meetings.
Yes.
Absolutely. Yeah, they're
But I do
open.
think we need to look at not filling that position also, based on what we found out from the previous position.
Well, that's new business for to be discussed, and that's
Yep,
fine.
and that's fine.
And that will, some of that money will need to be used for other things, but sure, let's say $100,000, that's great, but we're facing bigger problems than that.
Right. And I do think for this year, we do need to figure out a way to subsidize, soften the blow. I'm not saying do nothing, but we need to do something. We just had the increase in October that nobody's even seen on their bills yet. So
Oh, I did.
that's going forward.
I did too.
Yeah. Eight
Same.
point something to 9 point.
I'll say.
Yes. Well, one of the options on this resolution for the budgets is to subsidize the water and sewer rates, which was built into this.
But that would raise your taxes.
Yes,
Option number 2.
Correct.
take from Peter to pay Paul.
She didn't say that.
Well,
Yeah.
it would be barely any savings, really. I mean, when you look at the numbers, like it's, what, 58% versus 50? Is that what it is?
What are we talking about?
Percentage.
Subsidizing what impact it
Oh, you're
had.
talking about the effect it has on the water rate.
Correct.
You're right. 100,000 has very little effect on the rate.
Yeah.
That's what I'm getting at. You take his salary out, that has very little effect on the rate. We have big problems.
But
other than that, so-
we have a lot of staffing issues that, when it comes to looking at the numbers, and we need to talk about it, but
I don't agree. We're not overstaffed in any
We're not.
capacity. We're at bare bones. People have a full, everyone has their own job here at the plants, DPW. His position was created in the township manager. When they did create it, it was right before all the water and sewer infrastructure was going in. Someone had to work with the engineers, running all of that. I mean, it was created originally for a reason, for a purpose. And now we're talking about, we're at a position, we're done with the major improvements that we've done. So maybe that position can be eliminated at this point. But to this
I
point,
understand that better.
it was needed.
no, it wasn't. But it's a debate for another day, but that, yeah, no.
That's all I have for that.
I'm kind of wondering who is going to absorb everything that Dwayne has been doing and all that, if we don't open that position up again.
That's gonna be talked about in our new business.
New business for.
All right. So that's, yeah, everybody's made good points, and it's a lot to think about.
I mean, that, we have to discuss that. Are we
Yeah.
replacing with some, what are we doing? So that's,
Okay.
that can be discussed. And again, if we just decide to eliminate the position, again, that'll add 100,000 plus or minus to, but you saw how insignificant $100,000 is with the water and sewer rates. We need bigger fixes than that to have any effect whatsoever on the water and sewer rates.
That's for saving, and you're talking, a lot of it, just real quick, a lot of what that is saving for the future, which we've done, which previous boards have done. I mean, that's why
What are
we
you
have
saving
millions
for
of
the
dollars
future?
sitting there. What?
What are you saying? In the increase? It's $35,000 for capital improvements. That is it.
And that's not including the loan, which is part of, that's part of
Well,
improvement.
that's a bill. That's
huge.
not
Well,
saving.
right. but I
That's
mean,
a bill.
Right. But that's part of
Savings for
improvement.
future, $35,000. Capital improvement. That's it.
Yeah. But
That $9 million capital improvement that was not planned for. That's what that is. That was piss poor
It's a
planning.
good comment, Jim. It wasn't planned for correctly.
So, well, that's what I'm saying. You can't just throw all your cash knowing that you still got maintenance coming.
And yeah, that's not what I'm suggesting. Well, we have a lot.
We've decreased it to $35,000.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm not, that was.
That's all that's in the budget for the water and sewer rates.
Yeah.
Because
Al's looking at that, but I'm not in a hurry to
My
dump
recollection,
that.
my recollection from the last Water and Sewer Rate Committee was 15%, I believe, which I think that was actually a high number. They were like, for this year, they were saying it's probably gonna be 15. I think the year prior we did 10 or
Was that
something.
reviewed by your accountant?
It was reviewed, the same gentleman that came in.
It was not reviewed by the township accountant, who's the Woodhill Group.
Well, right, they weren't out, no,
Yeah,
they were.
so they weren't invited.
But
So-
the gentleman that you had on the TV, like that, organization was part of it.
Waterworks.
Well, yeah, there you go.
I concur. This year, we took every measure to make sure that the township accountant, as a consultant, looked at this and verified that everything would be correct, and nothing was taken for granted here. We really tried to do the best with what we had as real cost, you know. So, and we have looked at options to save money, and I think you'll find that the farther you get into tonight's meeting.
Yeah, and I think that a lot of the problem is the people that are looking for the ways to save money are part of the problem that why we're not saving money. So it's like, I think that's part of, but anyway, said I was done 3 times, so.
I'm trying to save money and I'm part of the problem, then you're saying. Is that what you mean?
No, relax.
I don't understand what you're saying there.
I think there's some people that are making money to do nothing, and I think that's.
Are you talking about like consultants or something that we brought in, or what?
Some of us sitting here, I mean, I think that we're getting pensions for going to 2 meetings a month. That's insane. I'm sorry.
That is such a small amount.
And that pension is $200
but
a year
that's-
for the trustees.
Yeah.
Is what?
$240 a year? It's 10% of their
It's
$2,400 salary.
It's $9,000 a year, total, for all of us.
Who does 2 meetings a month?
All of us.
The hell
You're
I do.
calling
I
it a
do
pension,
3
but
meetings a week.
$240 a year toward the trustees' pensions isn't gonna,
So, and again, the accountability
Do you
of how
pension?
many times, or like what, I don't know what the supervisor, clerk, treasurer, well, the treasurer has clarified what she does, but I don't understand what it is that you guys do, how often you're in the office. We're paying you guys a lot of money if
we're
just
here a
doing
lot,
trustees.
Alan, other than you.
Yeah, well, okay,
I'm here
what do you
all
do?
the time.
What do you do?
Lots of things. I'm always busy. Resolutions, Ordinances,
We've paid the attorney many times to do the resolution, so I.
some of the resolutions, yes. This isn't the place for this discussion.
Well, we're talking about the budget.
But we
This
are
is-
here doing our jobs as elected officials. Elections start early in the morning. We're here weeks, now we have 9 days of early voting. There's all of that planning, hiring.
You put a
All
dollar
night.
amount to it, let's say it's $50,000.
I mean, I could go on and on.
It has no impact on the water and sewer rate.
It has an impact on how much we put towards the general fund balance, which we could put toward that, but that's.
Okay,
Yeah.
take it all. If you take all $50,000, let's say, I don't care what it is, it's not that much, but if you take it to it and put it to this water sewer rate, it drops it by 3 cents a gallon? I'm sorry, it has no impact. You're trying to save money by making political statements about people sitting at the table.
Nobody here is.
Come up with real answers.
When you
not
don't know
bullshit.
what we
Nobody
do.
here is making a killing, believe me.
Right.
I'm
Hey,
not
we're working for free damn near.
But to get paid, get paid
I'd
that
rather
much
not,
to
I'd
do
rather
nothing
not
is
be here.
Quite a bit, I would
I'd rather
say.
not be here for what I get paid, I'll tell you, there's some, but I'll tell you one thing, we're talking
I'd like
about
to
what
say
they did
something,
years
but I
ago.
can't.
Years ago is
Jim,
why we got a
Jim.
$9 million bill.
Tricia, is that what it said? I've sat here all night. I am a retiree too. I do not like these rates. I do not like all this fighting that's going on. I think that's for another time. But I will tell you that Sandy, Vern, and Gisela, we are very lucky to have these three people for the piddly amount of money that they make. We need experts, and the problem of it is, we are now paying for other boards that didn't do their job, somewhat, and now we've got to figure out how to come up with it. We have done a lot of work on doing these water and sewer rates. It's not like something that, it was done on an email. We attend more than 2 meetings a month. There's a lot going on in this township, and we have a good township. And if we lose those 3 people, I don't know who's going to step up. I don't know who would do it for $0. So there's been a lot of work going into this. I'm not in favor of ripping the Band-Aid off. With what's going on in our country and people not getting their food stamps, and then we throw, a high double-digit increase on water. I mean, my water bills are over $300 every 3 months. They're like $375. They're gonna go up to probably $500-600. I mean, Jim's retiree, and Vern has been asking for answers, and I don't know what else we can do.
I've been looking for
I
answers.
really don't, but
can't find anything.
I don't like the personal attacks that are going on and saying that these people don't do anything. Sandy has trained me. Sandy spent a lot of hours with me training to be the deputy clerk to get me up to speed on what's going on. I've been here for a year. There's a lot to learn. I mean, I'm just a retired school teacher. I don't know how everything works, but I'm willing to learn. Sandy was talking about the elections. Every election now, instead of 1 day, it's 9 days. Did she get a pay raise for that? No. Vern attends multi-meetings monthly. Did he get a raise for that? No. So we're here working our butt.
Actually, yes, on that, we all got a raise for that, $65 a meeting from 25, so actually, yes.
I don't get any extra for any meeting other than the fire authority. I have multiple road commission meetings, staff meetings, all the stuff that we do is not a meeting for me. That's part of my job. I don't get paid any extra for any of that. Fire authority only.
I just want to say, I'm not going to get into an argument with anybody on this board. I've
We
been
have
there,
quarterly
done that.
meetings with road commission, multiple meetings with contractors. I don't get paid any for any meeting other than the fire authority. And I haven't turned one bill in for that for over a year. Anything else?
I do have another question, because I know we talked about, we're going to talk about the Director of Public Service Transition Plan. Are we going to vote on the budget before we discuss that? Because I would like to maybe,
You can table it, you can postpone until after.
well, I'd like to just table it until after we talk about the Director of Public Service Transition, as to what we're going to do, because would we have to then tweak the budget?
No, because that amount of money would be, if we did nothing with it, and we saved it all,
Because there's nothing in that budget right now,
well,
right?
there's something in there now, and you can direct those funds other places, or
Right,
it's part of
right.
a fund balance or whatever, or you can put it towards, your water and sewer.
Well, I'd just like to see us, at least the budget, we vote on that after we talk about the Director of Public Service Transition Plan.
What, is there something in this packet about MB4? Because I see nothing in.
No, it's just a discussion. I have a plan that I'll lay out, and we can discuss that. My vision, what we should do, but. we
So
can
I'll
do
make a
that.
motion that we table MB1, which is, I believe, what we're on, till after MB4.
So, is there support?
Support.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye. Aye.
Opposed. Water and sewer rates, number 2. Hey, this is a new item, I don't think we've talked about this yet.
I don't want to rip the Band-Aid off.
I don't either, but I don't know what, I have no, I have, honestly, I want to do what makes the most sense for everybody,
Right.
I really do.
Right.
We have to, I think you're right as far as, diverting some funds from other places to help pay for this, and then, you have 12 months of, all right, what we didn't up the rates by, we gotta find that money somewhere now. So, tell me what you wanna do. You wanna lay staff off, do you wanna do this, you wanna do that? Fire me, please.
Well, but if we did decide not to replace his position, that would come out of the budget, the water, because he's
To be
divided
diverted.
between two. So that would help a little bit. And no, I'm not for ripping the Band-Aid off either.
So you could take those funds or whatever's left of those funds with, after the transition plan, and divert the funds to the rates.
Yes.
Toward, as part of this other amount that's already built in.
we did.
What you can
Option
do
two.
is you can tell me how much money you do not want to raise the rates by. If you say that,
Money or percent, Vern?
I don't care how you do it, you tell me what you want to do. If you want X amount of dollars to come from somewhere else, we'll go to work and find it. And that'll be out of fund balance, capital improvement, that'll be out of wherever.
Can we subsidize water and sewer out of capital improvement? I always thought that capital improvement was for assets.
You can reallocate those funds.
Okay.
I think the simplest way to figure out the water sewer is you tell me what you feel you want to pass along to all of us and what you want to forego this year. We have our bookkeeper standing by to run those figures for us. She can input numbers. You tell me that you want $300,000 inputted from wherever. She'll run the rates and tell you what the new rates would be. And we can set that rate.
Okay.
Right?
I will run millage,
I'll run
Wade
the
will run
rates.
rates.
Yeah. They're waiting for direction. So if you tell me.
We just increased it, so next year increase 10, 15%. I mean, that seems to be what,
Can it,
You can do it any way you
this is
want.
like a 50% increase? Okay, you at least have to go with a quarter to a half of that. You can't,
Right.
because you're just gonna get behind every year. You prolong, you can't go 15% when you're talking a 50%, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm saying.
So
Tell me what's right.
What's reasonable? What is, let's say, what is a
5%.
25%
Reasonable.
reduction subsidy look
Word,
like
but-
in dollars?
So
You
capital-
pushed off capital improvements for 5 years. So at some point, you'll have a large expenditure waiting at the end of your increase, which will perpetuate that increase. Because you're not putting money aside for capital improvements. You have you do have reserves, but if you're using those reserves then to soften the blow, you're gonna lessen your reserve. It's just a chain of events that trickle.
Well, wait a minute, now, just tell me if I'm wrong. We already have the money for the building expansion right here.
I'm talking about water and
Well, wait a
sewer
minute,
rates.
I know it. Do we have that money currently?
In the capital improvement fund, we do, yes.
Okay, and then the building, you know, that we're talking about for 700,000. So if that's $1 million right there, that we already have. So if we didn't do that, we didn't build out here, and we didn't put up that building, how much would that affect water rates and sewer rates or whatever?
Well, you're talking about just one time for this year.
One time.
Yeah, just for this year.
We'd have to go run the numbers, Jim.
Well, that's all I'm asking. You want to run them?
You want to calculate a 15% increase? Is that what you're saying?
No, I didn't say 50.
Well, that was my idea. You guys might not agree with that, doing that. I don't know if that's,
If you're
you
talking
know.
what that does. 50%, divide it into 4.
29% would be
2 or
half
4.
of the high mark.
Well, if you divide it, 12 and a half is 4 of that. Divide it by 4, 50% is.
Okay.
So
all right,
12 and a half, so
okay,
I'm saying
okay,
15%.
okay.
I think we did 15 last year.
Yeah.
So if you calculate a 15% increase in the water and the sewer, that will tell us how many dollars that we need to divert from other funds or millage rate or whatever, and you tell me how you want to do that.
Well, run it.
Well, what if we did the option 2 with the 4.38?
There's 100,000.
There's 150 we were gonna divert. If we divide the other in half, we would divert 200,000 to each to offset.
Just tell me what you want to do with the rates, what you feel we should do as a responsible board. I will find the other money, whether it's from capital improvement fund or fund balance, whatever, and I'll come back to you with that.
So you're-
Set the rates, I'll tell you where we should take, the best place to get the money, okay?
Proposing 200 then to
Yes.
subsidize the rates?
Yes.
Instead of the 1?
Well,
Let's see what that does.
do you want that or you want the percentage?
Or do we
That was
go
our
with the
suggestion,
15?
I'm going with whatever is
Percentage
easier.
would be easier.
That's what I'm
Okay.
saying. Put the 15% in for both, would you please?
And then we'll look at the other.
Well, that'll tell us the dollar
Subsidizing,
amount we gotta
right.
subsidize it
Yep.
with, and then I'll come back
Yep.
and tell you where we should, we'll commit to that, and then we'll just get it from somewhere.
Okay.
I'll figure out
Well,
the
wait a
best area,
minute.
the best spot to get it from.
We're not gonna commit to that till you tell us where we're taking it from.
It'll come from capital improvement fund, fund balance,
Well, we wanna know what's
or,
gonna suck.
money.
We don't wanna end up in the same case we were, where we got a $9 million bill all of a sudden that we didn't plan for.
It'll be from somewhere that we will not have an
Okay,
impact
okay.
on the
That's
future.
all I-
Next year, we're gonna go through this whole same thing.
It'll be possibly a capital improvement project that we're not going to do.
Okay, yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah, that's all, I just wanna,
Sorry, Corinne.
To be clear, we're going back to affect the water and sewer rates by a certain percentage. And then you are expecting us to then figure out that deficit that we'll then have to adjust
That will give
the
you a dollar
millage and
amount,
or come up with a fund balance increase without an adjustment to the millage.
that'll give you a dollar amount of how much we'd have to transfer in to get that increase.
So that deficit that will create, you want to cover from a fund balance, or do you want to mill for it?
I'll know that once I see the dollar amount.
Fund balance.
Okay.
Generally,
We're saying in existing funds, not increase the rate
Right.
more, right?
Right.
Yeah, existing funds.
so,
Existing funds, so when we
I would
find-
Fund balance.
I would recommend that we table this
I
until we
think
get
that's
that
what I'm
information.
asking,
and go
so
into
we're
closed
pulling from the
session.
fund
Yeah, I
balance,
agree.
not recalculating a mill.
Correct, right?
We are, he's going to do the rates, whatever that creates as a deficit. You want to cover that from the fund balance. We do not want to recalculate millage.
Not at this time. That's the other question I have to ask them. If it's $700,000, I'm gonna say, where are we taking it from?
Okay,
Okay?
I'm just,
Let's come up with the dollars first.
Yeah.
I got you. I'm with you. Let's table this until we
Yep.
can get
Yes.
that.
We all agree.
We agree.
Is there a motion to,
Do we, real quick, do we want to table the closed session too so that everybody can hear? Or, that's gonna take
we need
time.
to go in closed
Never
session,
mind.
because that
Okay.
gives them time to do
I'll make a
what they
motion to table MB2 after MB1.
Support.
gotta- Move the support, all in favor,
Where
say
are you
aye.
moving it to?
Wait.
After MB1, which we also tabled, after MB4.
So you want it after NB1?
Correct.
Okay.
We're gonna rerun the list again once we get
Right,
done.
right.
Who supported that?
Jim,
Okay. All right, I need a motion to go into closed session.
I make a motion to go into closed session.
To support.
I support.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right, sorry, everyone. We have to go in the other room for us for a minute, if you would, please. And then, or we can go into the back in the back if you guys want. You want to
Yeah.
do that?
Yeah.
That's
Makes
fine.
more
Let's do that.
sense.
That's fine.
It's easier. All right, I'd entertain a motion to go back into open session, or close the closed session. I don't know which one you do.
Close the closed session, open the open session, 9:38 PM.
And Alan supported it.
Who made the motion?
Alan. Who supports?
Support. Fine.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, where are we at now? New business 4.
Okay.
Yeah.
I actually, after looking this over, I think we're gonna rearrange some job duties, within the office. I think that we make our bookkeeper the office supervisor now, / manager, whatever you wanna call that. He'd be, in the supervisors group. And, we do not replace the director of public services. And the 4 of them, as in the water plant, sewer plant, TPW, and the office supervisor would report to the supervisor of the township, which is me.
Yeah.
And again, we're having discussions with an outside firm for a 1-day-a-week consultant to work in this office on grants, some minor engineering and some other stuff we're gonna come up with that we think that would be a good fit. That's down the road though, but I want that in the discussion
Yeah.
as well. Okay. So here is some information that I want to take. And we will have this on for old business on Monday.
Can we get this emailed as well?
So what?
Can we get this emailed as well?
Yeah, I can scan
Like
it and
email- okay.
email it to you. No.
Well, this is different. Okay, so that is basically what I believe our transition plans make sense. Is there any comments or questions on that? If not, we're gonna put that on as old business next Monday for, moving our bookkeeper to the office supervisor and, not replacing.
I'll make a motion to postpone NB4 till the next meeting.
Support.
All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? All right, we're gonna go back into new business 1. Budget. I think the general consensus is we're gonna try to absorb pretty good of this hit. Got a scenario here worked out where we can get the ready to serve for both down to a 20% increase. It would make the water ready to serve $39.29. The sewer would be $44.92.
Ready to serve?
Yes.
What was the first one?
$39.29.
$39.29?
That's
That was the
water.
water?
Yep.
$39.29. Okay.
So that's 20%?
That's about a 20% increase. The water rate would be $9.88 a unit,
$9.88,
and that's about a 13.4% increase.
okay.
And the sewer is $7.01 a unit, and that's about a 20% increase.
$7.08.
$7.01.
I'm sorry, 1 cent or 8 cents?
One. Again, these are numbers that were just run. It's going to
20%.
be something close to
Little
that.
bit
but
just.
What was the ready to serve, sorry, for the sewer, the percentage?
20.
20?
20% increase in the sewer ready to serve and the unit,
Okay.
and 20% ready to serve in the water, and about a 13.4%
Okay.
on the water
Right.
price per gallon, or whatever you call it, 100,000, whatever it is. To do that, it's gonna take a transfer in of about $1.2 million. Okay? We have in these calculations here, the 101,520, they call it hydrant rental. It's simply a transfer in from the general fund. That goes in the water fund, the 101,520. I propose you go ahead with the 4.38 millage. Garnishes another 100. And what we had planned on with that was $150,000 into the water fund and $150,000 into the sewer fund, between the general fund and that extra millage. That leaves about $800,000 for both funds, about $350 on the water and $450 on the sewer.
And that's without cutting any expenditures.
Well, that's covering the budget that's proposed from the Water and Sewer Authority. You really need to go to them, it's their budget, so.
Okay, wait, 350 for water
Yes,
and an additional 350 for sewer?
450 for sewer.
450 for sewer.
So it's $800,000, and I propose we take that out of 496, which is the capital improvement fund. That will get you to what you talked about, Sandy. You know, that's about a third of the increase that was proposed.
So what are the specific items that are cut from the capital improvement plan?
I gotta look at it. There's some unrestricted funds there that we'll take. And,
So you'll fill us in on that?
well, I'll bring it back to you, because we'll have to make an adjustment to it.
Okay, cool.
It's gotta come back to the board to adjust those numbers. So
We can't vote on this tonight, correct?
yeah,
Because
we can. We're gonna take it out of the 496.
we have to have a public hearing with the correct info, correct?
That is the correct.
We do
info.
have the rate, it's the
4.38.
4.3810. We're not increasing the rate.
I'm not changing the millage rate.
We're taking
I'm
from the
taking it
general
one time out of
fund,
the capital
fund
improvement
balance
Okay.
to make up the difference.
Yeah. So, if that's what you want, that's how I would propose we do that. And I'll share that capital improvement fund sheet with you, which items we're gonna
Yeah.
move the money from.
That'll work with me.
Because that spreadsheet lists when it was budgeted, how much it was budgeted, you know, what year, and what's been spent, and what's available still. And then at that time, we take whatever we need to take to make your funds to get to that thing, so. But, was I correct with that? 350 water, 450 sewer, is that correct?
I had this, but I could be incorrect. I thought the sewer was lower.
No, sewer's high.
Sewer's higher?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, okay. So, basically, to make all that happen, what you're gonna do is adopt the new ready-to-serve rates and the new rates of per unit, and that your water rates are set, and then the accounting will follow that.
I'd recommend that you postpone that vote till we can brush up those spreadsheets.
For the water and sewer rates?
Yeah. please.
You don't want to just set the rates and then the sheets can be verified? Because we're not gonna transfer 496 money yet. Yeah, no.
Well, if he's proposing that we wait till the next meeting, will we have the sheets in front of us?
That's fine if we wait. I'm all right.
Right?
Yeah, that's all.
We're not implementing it anyway until January 1st.
I mean, the millage is the most important this evening.
Correct.
Well, the millage we're doing tonight, right?
Correct.
I'm confident in your calculations,
have.
but I'll do it however you
Well,
want.
they did it under pressure quick.
Under duress.
Well, still, I'd like a piece of
There was
paper
a
that
lynch
spells
mob
it all
for me.
out, black and white.
All right.
I think the
Well, that's the
public would
proposal.
appreciate that too.
It will be on next meeting, because we've already postponed this, so it'll go on next meeting as old business for the water rate. The budget, I make a motion, we approve.
Okay,
the-
wait a minute, we need to make a motion to postpone this, right?
We're still talking about budget.
NB1, or,
No,
I'm
we're
sorry,
doing number one right
NB2.
now.
We're not doing NB2?
We're doing NB1.
Yep.
NB2's tabled. Still. We're gonna postpone it to the next meeting instead of later in the meeting, so
Well,
I make that
No,
motion.
it was on our agenda tonight, so we need to postpone it again for
Yeah.
the next
But
meeting.
we postponed it once till later in the meeting, now we're gonna postpone it to.
We're on MB1 though. We're on the budget right now.
Right, that's why I make a motion, we go with the budget, and then we'll take two and table it.
Yeah.
'Cause
Okay,
that's
so
the-
we're gonna
That's the
table-
order we gotta take it in.
Next item, we'll table it. Okay, let's go.
4.381 millage option 2 as my proposal, I make a motion for that budget number.
4.3810,
Yeah, that gives us some money to transfer into the, additional money to transfer into the water and sewer funds to do this.
I'll support.
Is there any other discussion? Clerk, please call the roll.
Roll call. Clerk Smith, yes. Treasurer Horn?
Yes.
Trustee Babel?
Yes.
Trustee Bebuk?
Yes.
Trustee Klein?
Yeah.
Trustee Richley?
No.
Supervisor Westrick?
I'll make a motion to postpone
I got it.
MB2 till the next regular meeting.
Support.
Richley. Horn? Postpone?
Horn. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right. That's it for that.
That's it.
Announcements, Pat? Anything?
We did think of, didn't
Oh,
we
that one.
postpone
Yeah.
NB4?
We did.
Do we have to vote on it?
Pat, anything?
I don't think we
No.
voted on it, did we?
Yes,
Deb?
Smith and Horn.
Oh, okay.
Do you have anything, Deb?
Nope, I'm good. Oh,
No,
yeah,
thank you.
I see. I've got it written down here.
Lisa? Phil? Alan?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
9:50, support.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Thank you.